go, anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what are you saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Now, before we get into this, make sure you check out my Telegram channel. Leave a link to that in the description and also the chat as well. Check out that, post different trading setups there if you haven't already. But like always, guys, another live stream. I'm going to talk you through what's going in the charts today. Any pairs they want me to take a look at, feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll take a look at those pairs for you. Or if you need trades as well, feel free to share. But yeah, we'll be looking at the charts today, seeing what opportunities we got. Start off Euro USD like usual. You can see if this pair was still quite bullish here, was still pushing to the upside. Again, still looking to short Euro USD. Come into that level that I was talking about to you guys yesterday, this daily level here of support now turned resistance. So as you can see, this level here, nice support there, 1.18500 stroke 1.18600. Nice support coming through there, will be acting as a resistance. So looking to short from this area here for Euro USD. I think we could see a move to the downside. Again, the market has been quite bullish, so I'm a little bit hesitant to get in straight away, just because we could still be moving higher. Again, someone did point out in the stream yesterday that there's still a good chance that Euro USD could be moving back to these highs here, around 1.19. And that's a key level as well, so there's nothing stopping Euro USD heading to that area there around 1.19 if it wanted to, breaking through that level. But I do think potentially you might see a reaction from this level here. Again, nothing major, maybe move back down into this area here, 1.18, nice psychological level as well. Not asking for Euro USD to come back all the way to these lows here and just continue that bearish trend. It could do, but with the way price been moving, I'm not going to try and call that move there way too aggressive for me. But yeah, I think we can see a move to the downside. If not, price might just break through this level, push into here, and then there could be some nice sells again to the downside. But like I said from yesterday, looking for those sells. So price can still push up, but I will be looking for those selling opportunities for Euro USD. And there could be some nice, because we're coming to the end of the week now, Thursday. Could be some nice setups coming maybe in the New York session or maybe early tomorrow. There could be a nice setup. But yeah, we've had this massive move to the upside yesterday. Again, I did tell you guys a lot of news events yesterday. USD, CAD, Euro as well. So again, that news came in and really just took US dollar to the downside, and all those USD pairs like Euro USD, Pound USD, AID USD, USD USD, all of them just pushed to the upside quite aggressively there with that big bullish candle. Pound USD did the exact same. Pound USD was actually looking for some downside, but you can see with that news that just came up, so I just I left it alone. And prices just a little bit choppy now for Pound USD. I have to admit, I'm still looking for sells, some to Euro USD, but there's nothing quite there for me just yet. Good morning to you too, Arla. Thank you, much appreciated. Hope all of you guys are doing well and having a good morning so far. Like always, guys, any pairs you want me to take a look at, just drop it down in the chat and I'll give it a look for you. Yeah, but good morning to you guys. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, so only if we could just see some strength from that dollar coming in, and then we might be seeing some nice trades coming in for like there's Euro USD shorts, Pound USD shorts. But you can see that from yesterday, I was talking about this level here, that if we do break through this and hold as resistance, we'll probably see a lot more DXY weakness, so a lot more US dollar weakness, which potentially is what price is trying to do. You can see we've broken through the level there yesterday with that fundamental, with those fundamentals, came below and looks like it's holding as resistance. So if the market does keep up that, we could be looking at a lot more downside here for the DXY. And if I just drop to the daily quickly, you can see we've got this trend line here connecting these lows. And I said if we can break through that area, I think that's where prices potentially coming back into this trend line, maybe even back to that support there. Probably cross that bridge if we do break through the trend line, but for now I think trend line could be the next target for the DXY if we can stay, because potentially we could easily just get back above this level, use that support and push through, If that's the case, then fair enough. But right now, it's looking like this is resistance, and we might be seeing more DXY weakness, which then means that Euro USD might want to break through these levels and push to the upside. Pound USD break through those levels, push to the upside. So even though I am looking for shorts, yeah, I probably will be a little bit hesitant getting into shorts for these pairs, just because how DXY is looking, how US dollar is looking. Yeah, it's just not looking really good. Pound USD looks a little bit better than Euro. Euro right now is just very, very strong. So yeah, I probably need a little bit more there from Euro to actually get into some shorts. USD CAD still quite choppy here. Not a fan of this pair right now. You can pretty much see now all of this is just sideways price action. Not the best to be not the best pair to be trading, unless, to be fair, if you go in the lower time frames, just looking to sell that resistance and buy that support, that could be a nice opportunity. But as a swing trader, for me, yeah, definitely not the best pair to be trading. If you do break to the downside, which I wouldn't put it past, if you do see that weakness in the dollar, we could be seeing a bigger move there, because we do have that trend line on the daily. That price is still clinging on to for dear life. As you can see here, we're still just about clinging onto this trend line here. 1, 2, 3, 4 on our 5th test now of this trend line. So it is definitely a well confirmed trend line, and if we do get a break, we could see a lot more downside. But as of now, we're still just clinging onto this trend line here. Looks like price is trying to break through it. Again, I'm not going to say it will, because this price action is a little bit messy, hard to decipher what price wants to do. With all this momentum we're seeing to the downside, I probably expect it to break and see a big move to the downside. And again, like I said, if you do break through the trend line, the next area I see USD CAD heading to is this area here, 1.25. Nice area of support there. We have that double bottom for that massive move to the upside. I think we could be just revisiting that area. So yeah, even though I'm not really looking to sell, maybe if a nice opportunity does arise, I might. But yeah, I think probably more downside for USD CAD, just because I do expect to see more weakness in the dollar. If we take a look at the JPY pairs, you can see they're still moving to the upside. I believe on the stream we were looking at the pair around there. We were saying we were expecting them to the downside. We did see one, but again, guys, we were finding that support, and we're still trying to push to the upside here, because these pairs are still bullish, and we do have to respect that. Even if you are trying to catch a swing to the downside, which is what I'm trying to do, they are still bullish, and potentially could see a lot more upside for these pairs here. So do you have to take that in mind? Again, I did say potentially you might even see a push to this area here for pound JPY, which does mean we could see a lot more upside, which probably is a good opportunity to buy the pair rather than sell it. But just because on the higher time frames, I do have that bearish bias. You can see on the daily, we've got this trend here. I'm trying to stay with that trend, but also try not to ignore that bullish trend there, and just trade against that blindly. So we'll just probably wait for another opportunity. Maybe a break of this trend line will be a really nice opportunity there for pound JPY. Break through the trend line, come back below, form a lower high, retest it, something like that. Shorts will be looking good from there, because we've taken out that trend line. Not necessarily that means that we're turning bearish, just means that we've got extra confirmation that we could be turning bearish with that move. Because for us to turn bearish, you have to take out that previous higher low, which is down there. But the trend line could give us a good indication that potentially that is going to happen. So I think for pound JPY, that's what I'll be looking for. Probably the safest option. Don't want to get involved in shorts here just to see price slowly just push to the upside. No point in doing that. So we'll wait for the break of the trend line, the retest, another lower high, and then yeah, we'll short it back down probably into these lows and potentially these lows here as well. So I think that's a good opportunity there on pound JPY. Besides that, if that doesn't happen, then I'll probably expect to see pound JPY do something like this, respect the trend line, and probably push to the upside. So if that does happen, that could be a nice indication to go look for buys on the smaller time frames, maybe like the 15-minute. That could be a nice buy, and just simply look to buy the pair back into those highs on the hourly time frame. So we just remove that for a second. So basically back into these highs here, that could be a really nice trade there on the 15-minute. Come back into here. Risk to reward looks decent as well, so that could be an opportunity. Like I said, these pairs are still looking quite bullish, so I would not be surprised if that was to happen there. And potentially, if that does look good, I might look to take it myself. But then again, if you do see a break, I will have that bearish bias, and then we'll wait for that retest. Because it could be a false breakout as well. We've seen a lot of wicks trying to break through this trend line, so do have to take account of that. And then if you can respect it, I'll short it down. But like I said, a lot of price action needs to happen before we do get anything like that. But if I do, guys, I will let you guys know in my Telegram channel and put it in there so you can have a look. Could be Joe Dutson. Thank you for that. Is there any currencies that you're looking at there, Joe Dutson? You're looking at the euro, US dollar. Because that pair is looking quite bullish here, quite strong. Still in that uptrend, coming into a very nice level of resistance. See if we can get a nice reaction of that. I know a lot of people looking at the pound USD as well. Pound JPY, like I said, looking good there. Euro JPY still very, very, very bullish with this pair. Oh yeah, that one. What are the chances that you're looking at that one? But yeah, Euro JPY, we were looking at this one yesterday, and we were looking for selling opportunities, and you can see the market is still quite bullish here. So just what I said, basically same as yesterday, same as today. This pair is overall, we do have that bearish trend, yes, and we're trying to stay in line with that. You can see on the daily we're coming down here, trying to sell with that trend. But we do have to respect at the same time this bullish trend here as well, because this could actually potentially start a reversal. We don't know if that's going to happen. That could potentially happen, and it's just our job to know when to sell and when not to sell, when to buy and not when to buy. And right now we're at a nice level, so it's a place to sell. But is it time to sell? Personally, I don't think so right now. Looking at this on the 4H, the momentum is definitely not with us there. We might see some slight downside here for Euro JPY back into these areas here, but I'd probably just expected to see a nice big push to the upside. Maybe if we can see a nice dump to the downside, so price really takes off, and then we can catch the pullback to the downside. I think that's the better opportunity, because after that we've got that indication that yes, we might be turning bearish, rather than just hoping and just shorting because it's at resistance. Because just because it's at that resistance doesn't mean the price has to hold there. It could definitely break through. Don't get me wrong, I do expect to see a reaction to the downside from this level, but then with all this momentum, price could easily just say, yeah, I'm breaking through this level, and just go and break through that. So it's definitely managing the risk at this time. If you guys are just focusing on this bullish trend, then yeah, it's looking good. Just wait for those pullbacks, buy it back up again. But as a bear in this market, it's definitely, and I know a lot of people would be bears as well, because the market's come really high. You expect it to fall at one point, so I know a lot of people will be bears in this market. And I know a lot of people would have been very frustrated, because they'll probably be looking to sell pretty much every bearish candle that comes here, and just find to see the market keeps pushing to the upside. So it's definitely better to wait for the confirmations and wait for a stronger indication that yes, we could be turning direction, rather trying to short at the highs, hoping that it will change, and that you can just catch the top of the move, which is very, very difficult to do, and something that I just avoid doing pretty much all the time. I rather catch the second move after the pullback rather than catch the top, just because the probability is greater in my favor, rather than catching tops of things. That's just very difficult. I'm not saying you can't do it profitably, but it's just very difficult to do that. If we look at AU, you can see AU as well, another USD pair that's just flying to the upside. So again, this pair, I believe we were talking about it here, and again I said if for this one I probably want to see it to come down, take out this low here, form a lower high and then short. So a little bit of a head and shoulders there, kind of left shoulder, head, right shoulder. But as you can see, we broke to the upside there for AU just because of that US dollar weakness. The fundamentals came in as well, and we're still flying to the upside. So again, still looking bullish here for AU, and we're coming really back into this area of resistance there. Was looking for a break and retest of this area here, but as you can see, we've broken through that quite aggressively yesterday. So it's looking like the next area potentially to sell is this area here. And again, I'm expecting to see some type of reaction. We're almost there for AU. But yeah, like yesterday, looking for potential break of that low, or maybe if I can get a trend line in this market, at least a break of that trend line. So we've got a little bit of a one there, probably not the best trend line to work with, to be honest with you. But we've got a test here, test there, test there. We kind of broke through it, used it as resistance once, test there, test there. So it's not the best trend line, simply because not all the price action is above the trend line, so not all trading above it. We have broke it and come back above, but you know, it will act as a resistance. So at least if we do break through this, you know, the trend line will act as resistance. So if you can get another retest like that, I know this opportunity here failed, but now we've got multiple tests. You know, if we do that again, we potentially could work this time and see a nice drop in price. And just like that, we've got extra confirmation there as well for those shorts. But like I said, might see a little bit more upside back into the 0.74, nice psychological level, tap into that, break of the trend line, retest lower high, and then some shorts could look good. But other than that, you know, if price doesn't give us that, we could potentially just continue and pump to the upside a lot more. Hi Chia, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, sure, ends the USD and ends the JPY, sure thing. So ends the USD, another USD pair still trying to work its way to the upside. Well, is working its way to the upside, more like, to be fair. And if you go on the daily, you can see a strong close yesterday. We're really coming to this area of resistance now. So it's either price is going to come and have a nice reaction with this level, or it's going to break through. I'm expecting to see a reaction. Especially with all this momentum here, it's going to relieve itself at one point, if not this week, next week probably. You know, what comes up, you know, definitely does come down in these markets, but you know, definitely be careful with that, because a lot of the time it goes up a little bit more than you expect before it does come down. So do take that information with a pinch of salt. But yeah, we're in a really nice area here for ends the USD sells. Like I said from yesterday, I still do have that bearish bias for these pairs. I'm not too sure if I'm looking for sells, but doesn't necessarily mean I think the markets will continue bearish, because after the momentum that we've seen here over the past few days now for a lot of these pairs, yeah, it's not giving us an indication that these markets want to continue bearish, like ends the USD or AU. I mean, they're still overall bear markets. You can see there's lower highs, lower lows. Same with AU as well, lower highs, lower lows. But I'm not too sure if they will continue bearish once we do see some moves to the downside. So, like I said, looking for sells here for NZUSD. It's a really nice area, but still too bullish here. We probably do have a little bit of a trend line here now. If I connect those lows, again, probably not the best trend line there in the world, but test, second test, third test, slight false break there, but a fourth test as well. So maybe a break of that trend line and a retest of the underside of it could be a nice trade. Retest the lower high and then take it back down again. That could be a nice possible trade. But yeah, it's because NZUSD is so bullish here. I'm just a little bit on the reserve side of things to short the pair. I need a lot more from this one to short it, because we were looking good here, but as you can see, I think the news came in and just took the pair to the upside. Bit of retracement overnight, and then we're still pumping to the upside again this morning. So we're definitely very much in a bullish market in the lower time frames. Higher time frames we are bearish. I'm trying to get involved in those, you know, higher time frame moves using the lower time frames. But I think for this one, that break of the trend line for me looks like a good opportunity. And then if you can get a lower high, then yeah, we can look to short it back down again. And targets for this one will probably be the same as yesterday, really. looking at this area here, but I'll probably look at this area just above it, because strong area of demand and psychological level as well, 0.7. So I think I can see a move back down to 0.7 if we can hold into this level. Very strong 4H candle close there, so momentum is definitely with the bulls. I'll definitely hold off for sales until we below that trend line. But if we can, look to get below those pairs, below the trend line, I do think we'll see some nice downside. I'll look to target 0.7, potentially 0.69700 down there. So yeah, I can see more downside for these pairs, but they definitely have to start shaping up and giving us that bearish price action, because they're too bullish right now, and if they stay like that, I expect more upside. You're bearish on both pairs. Yes, that's the same with me. I'll probably be bearish on the NZJPY too. Take a look at it now. Okay, so NZJPY, again another pair flying to the upside. Okay, it's coming to a really nice area, so I do like the area NZJPY is in, because you can see this is kind of like our last major swing high of the bearish market. Nice dump to the downside, pulled back from this lower high, massive dump to the downside, and now we're back at that same area. So if this market is to stay bearish on the higher time frames like the daily, the weekly, this level here, you would expect it to act as some strong level of resistance and see a reaction from this level. There's obviously a possibility that we could get a false break above this level, because it's a massive dump to the downside. We didn't see any bearish bullish candles on our way down, so there is definitely a lot of liquidity just above this high. We could see a spike to the upside before price does come down. That could be a possibility. So if we do break through this level, it might not necessarily be the break. Definitely monitor the price action on the daily, see the candle formations before you identify that as a breakout or not. But yeah, we're coming to a really nice level here for NZJPY here on the daily, and a really nice level to sell at. Again, a lot of people will be looking to sell at, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a false breakout, grab liquidity before we do see that dump. But yeah, I'm definitely bearish here on NZJPY, looking for selling opportunities. Again, for this one, it's a little bit of a choppy market here. But yeah, we're coming back into this resistance. We did see a nice reaction from that level yesterday at 8 AM to the downside. So there is a little bit of a level here, which we're coming into right now. So the double top is potentially on there. But again, like I said, definitely wait for the price action to come through. Probably wait for a reaction to come back into this neckline here, and either a break of that, or a price will push, form a lower high, and then push down, maybe a retest of this resistance here. So push, retest that lower high, and then come down, something like that, because I'm trying to give more conservative, more reserved trading options for these pairs, just because of how bullish it is. Normally with these pairs, if they weren't so bullish, I probably would have said, yeah, just wait for some indication at that double top, and you can get it for some sells. Or maybe you don't even wait for a double top sometimes. But with these pairs and how they've been moving for the past couple of weeks now, all this bullish momentum happened since last week. So I remember trying to short the pair, and then we just had a lot of upside, and the same thing this week as well. So trying to give conservative and reserved trading setup, just because I know that if price does want to, it probably will continue to the upside, and I don't want you guys getting too frustrated, keep trying to sell the pair, and price keeps coming up and going up. So for NZJPY, I agree, looking for those sells as well, but I'll probably wait to see another strong reaction, something like this. And if that happens on the neckline break and retest, or if you do have a bounce from this support, which is quite likely on that lower high, probably like the 15-minute, to take it back down again. And as for targets for this one, again, like I said, not too aggressive with these targets. I'll probably say this kind of area here, 77 psychological level, and it does match up with that area of demand as well. And if I take that across, we do have some nice support there as well. So NZJPY does look good for move back down to 77. Whether we'll have that reaction from this level, not too sure yet, only time will tell. But yeah, I'll probably wait for a break and retest of that neckline, or wait for a higher low to form. Either which way, we need to see a strong reaction similar to the one we had here at that double top region. So that's what I'll be looking for NZJPY and NZUSD, because they're still looking bullish and they're still moving up. And when we're seeing that, we don't want to blindly get into sells and just give our money away. Make it difficult for the market to take your money, because right now it's still looking very, very bullish here. And that pretty much goes with all other USD pairs. Pound USD, you can see Pound USD still looking very bullish here. Euro USD still looking bullish. AU still looking bullish as well. USD CAD still looking bearish. USD CHF, yeah, I wouldn't say this one is looking a little bit bearish, but this is a funny pair. It's kind of just all over the place. Key levels support, key level resistance, and besides that we just be moving sideways. So it's one of those pairs where it's good to buy and sell at the resistance and support. So sell at the resistance, buy at support. Other than that, I would not touch the price action in here. Bit like a guessing game, guessing which way that will go. You could probably work it out from structure and say maybe move up, but I wouldn't guess that, to be fair. I would just wait for price to come back into here, buy it back up again, or sell. Obviously wait for confirmations and then sell back down, back to the midpoint. And if you can break through the midpoint, we can look at these levels down there. So just going to treat that as a textbook range. USD JPY is a little bit similar for this one. Again, we did see a nice push back into this area of supply there yesterday. Nice tap into that, but again, the pair is still a little bit choppy. If you do see that weakness in the dollar keep up, then yes, USD will be good for move to the downside. But other than that, I'm not too sure about this pair. My weekly analysis, I did say look to short at this area here, slight false breakout, and see a move to the downside, which we are kind of, but I'm not so much convinced anymore after this big push to the upside. So I think for this one, I'm going to put on the sidelines for a little bit, wait for price action to clear up, because it even looks choppy in the daily as well. Even looks very choppy in the daily as well. You've seen some nicer wicks to the upside, so that might mean that we're coming down. But besides from that, yeah, it's just a little bit messy, so we'll be staying away from that pair. Maybe if it does clear over, you see a big drop to the downside again, and then some retracement, you can look to take that down on that retrace. That would be a nice potential opportunity. But besides from that, yeah, there's not much there for me for USD JPY. Gold, another pair, still moving sideways. A lot of pairs are moving sideways. Well, actually no, I do take that back. A lot of pairs are trending, but besides from those trending pairs, a lot of pairs are consolidating, to be fair. Gold is kind of just moving sideways. I was favouring a move to the upside yesterday because we had this nice false break to the downside, so I was just going to treat that as a liquidity grab and expect to see the market pump up. We did see a big push, but it came straight back down again. So gold for me is just consolidation as well. Drop box around the price action there, false break, and besides that, we should be moving sideways. So gold, if I had to pick a direction, it probably will be to the upside, but am I going to trade it? No, with that price action, not at all. Again, still waiting for price to come into one of these key levels here, support and resistance, and look to buy at that support and sell at that resistance. Been waiting for this pretty much all week, to be fair, because we have opened the market around there, and we just been moving sideways pretty much all the week. So want to see a push back into here, I'll look to buy it back up again, or move into there, I'll look to set it back down again. Either which way, waiting for price to get to one of those two key levels, because don't really want to touch price action when it's in the middle of two key levels like that, and especially when it's moving sideways like that. That means it's just getting ready for a breakout. And yeah, I just want to wait for price to test one of those two levels, and then wait for my price action, and then get involved in these moves rather than try and guess where I think price is going to go. So gold for me looks like it's trying to go to the upside, but I'm not going to trade that, not completely convinced yet. And just waiting for one of those two levels, 1830 or 17.95. But other than that, I'm not going to be touching gold for the rest of the week unless one of those two things happens. CAD JPY, we did see some nice move to the downside for CAD JPY. I think Chi was talking about this pair yesterday, because we had a nice test of this level here, a nice big push to the upside. We're coming back into that same area. We had a nice reaction from that level yesterday, so as you can see, we did see some nice CAD weakness, nice reaction to the downside. However, price, this morning had another push up again, so it's still, this one is probably one of the weaker bullish pairs. It's still, technically bullish. We're still pushing up to the upside, but you can see with all these, strong sell-off, strong decline in price there, it does mean that the market is weakening and the bears are starting to push into the market, and some bulls are taking their profits. So it could be looking good for some sells for CAD JPY if you can respect some resistance. We do have a nice key level going through here, so as you can see there, resistance, coming back into that same level. So maybe if we can hold into this, we might see a drop in price. I'm not overly convinced yet by that price action there, especially with that big candle closing at 10, I believe, or was it 9 or 8 maybe? Yeah, closing at 8. I'm not a fan of that candle at all. I don't like shorting into momentum like that. But yeah, CAD JPY, like I said, we'll be looking for selling opportunities. Yeah, but I'm just not overly convinced with that price action just yet. Yeah, sure, I'll take a look at USD Pln. I haven't looked at this pair for quite a long time, so definitely need to zoom out and see what's going on. So okay, so on the higher time frames, definitely bearish. Definitely bearish here on the daily. Just had a quite nice dump to the downside, I see. So yeah, for this one, yeah, a lot more downside here for USD Pln on the higher time frames. Coming to the 4H, we just cleared that low there. This looks a lot like the DXY a little bit, actually. Just noticed, because we got that low there, we pumped to the upside, aggressive drop, push up, quite aggressive pullback, push up again, and then selling off to the downside in there, which go to the DXY quickly. So you have some price action there, so that's very interesting. Maybe that's what the DXY is going to do, follow USD Pln. Again, I have no idea about correlation between those two pairs, apart from obviously having US dollar, but it looks like the DXY there. But yeah, this one's looking quite bearish here. Let me go to the other one. This one's looking very, very bearish here. And yeah, I'll be expecting a lot more downside based on the higher time frames. For this one, it looks like it's selling off again. I'll probably say if you can get some deeper retracement coming back into kind of this area here, that'll be great. Look for a nice double top there, 1, 2. So if you can push up again, come back into this area, probably set it back down straight back into those lows there, that'll be a nice selling opportunity. Because yeah, we are looking bearish here. We're taking out that trend line, we're also taking out that low. It could be time, however, to see a deeper move back up again, maybe to retest that underside of the trend line. Because we've had this sell off now, since back then. If I get a fib on that, 50% is all the way up there, so we potentially could see a lot more retracement. But what the price action I'm seeing right now is that the market is still very bearish, and I don't think longs will be looking good too soon, and the DXY is still looking quite weak. So with that, selling opportunities only until we see some strength in the DXY. To be fair, we probably need to see some strength anyway on the DXY to take this up back into that selling opportunity. But besides that, I think we're probably going to come back down again for USD PLN here, and potentially a lot further. So yeah, I'll probably just wait for those pullbacks, take it back down again. That's probably the first area of interest. Then if you break through that, the trend line, just connecting these lows there, and then yeah, let's sell that back down. But wait for that retracement, and then yeah, sell it back down. The sales do look good here, especially from looking at those higher time frames. So yeah, I hope that analysis helped. But yeah, that's weird because it does look very similar to the DXY. I know they do have US dollars, so they will look quite similar to some extent. But you can even see with this price action here, big push up, come down from a higher low, push up, back into that same low. And besides this price action here, of course, because the DXY has not done that, but you can see the push up, the higher low, push up again back into that level, whereas USD PLN had a massive dump. DXY hasn't had that dump yet, so maybe DXY will have that dump and just follow USD PLN. I'm not too sure, but we'll find out very, very soon. But yeah, DXY is still looking bearish, like I said yesterday, guys. If we do break below this, hold that as resistance, then I do see it move back down to that trend line for the DXY. And so far, we are holding this as resistance, so it means more weakness here for DXY, which is not the best news you want to see if you're looking to short like Euro USD or whatever. But it does mean that you don't enter blindly, because the DXY definitely is not lining up with what we want to do with the Euro USD. So it does act as a an extra confluence just to save you from potentially a string of losing trades, because the DXY is looking quite bearish still here. And Euro USD is still looking quite bullish, so there's nothing there to get short for me just yet. EuroCAD had a massive move to the upside yesterday. A bit annoyed because it did miss that move. Was waiting for a big push up, and as you can see, it did happen yesterday. Was looking for a pullback into a higher low and then take it back up again. Potentially that high low could be happening now though, from here and then pushing up. But I was looking for it back here just before that big push up yesterday, so I kind of missed that move there. I mean, in my defense, price action was a little bit choppy here, and it wasn't really looking the clearest, so I did want to see that high low before jumping straight into it. But yeah, it did move to the upside, so the bias looks like it is correct, and I'm expecting more upside, like potentially back to these highs up there. So it's not the be all end all. There definitely will be more opportunities to buy EuroCAD, because if that's what I'm expecting it to go, we do have a long way to go. That's probably about 80-90 pips. Well, actually 80-90, 143 there. So plenty of pips to catch to the upside. So we'll wait for another opportunity to get involved for EuroCAD. But like I said, guys, my bias is firm to the upside with this pair. And yeah, I can see a push back to those highs. No problem there, happy to help. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? How are you doing? Hope you're all having a good morning so far. What pairs are you guys focusing on today? No, I wouldn't say I had. I've never really had a big slippage where I'm like, wow, that's I'm shocked. Never really had that before. I've had slippage, yes, but nothing crazy. What have you just had a big slippage when you're closing a trade? Are you still looking at CAD JPY? Yeah, I'll take a look at Euro USD if you want. Yeah, so Euro USD It's coming into a really nice area, 1.18500. We're going to daily quickly for you. You can see really nice support here. Will be acting as resistance, so, and a nice area of supply as well. So I want to see if price can react to this level and move to the downside. Like I said, I'm looking for those shorts for Euro USD. This pair right now is still quite bullish here, so I'm a bit hesitant shorting Euro USD. Bit of a trend line there, but a bit of a weak one, only 2 tests. So I'm looking for shorts for Euro USD, but yeah, it's just the market's so bullish, so I'm a bit hesitant taking shorts. If anything, longs could actually be looking good. If you're looking to looking to catch a few pips, I think some longs could be good. I'm looking more to swing the pair, hence I'm a swing trader, and I'm looking for those swings to the downside. But yeah, with this market nature, it's definitely best to wait it out and then get involved. But right now, we are looking quite bullish here, and I think we might see some more upside. But if you can hang on to this level here for Euro USD, I think we can see some downside. But definitely wait for extra confirmation with this one, or you're prepared to have a bit more money on the table for bigger stop losses, because price is quite bullish here. But if we do see a move to the downside, I'll probably be expecting to see a pushback down into this level here, because we're coming to a really nice resistance, and if price does respect that, I do expect to see some type of a move down, maybe even further, maybe even back down to 1.17500. If we can break through this level here, and I think price will probably push on to 1.19 up there. And if I just go on the higher time frames for 4H, you can see this resistance here. So if we break above that, then I think 1.19 is the target for Euro USD, and then from there shorts will be looking good again. But if we don't break above there, then shorts from here. If we do, probably wait for the break and retest actually to take it to the upside, or just wait to short at 1.19. Either which way, just depends what price does with this level, whether it breaks through it or not. Right now, it's still looking bullish, but I wouldn't say it's breaking through, because price action could change very, very quickly. And if it does, shorts will be looking good back down, maybe back down to the 1.8 area. Okay, yeah. Yeah, if the slippage is too crazy, it's definitely best to contact your broker, because it's not supposed to be anything crazy really. And if it is, definitely contact them. Yeah, CAD JPY just flew to the upside. Yeah, it's a little bit choppy now, CAD JPY as well. So yeah, it's probably best just to leave that alone, wait for some clarity to form again, and then we can look to get involved. But yeah, I do agree, it's a bit choppy down there for CAD JPY. Had a nice retest of that level yesterday, but I didn't get involved in that one, because I was just waiting for a bit more clarity. Maybe on the break and retest of this level there could be a nice opportunity, but even that I was still a bit skeptical of, just because of how CAD JPY has been moving. But yeah, it's definitely not a pair that I'm getting involved just yet. I think I have other pairs that I'm looking at a little bit more, like Euro USD, Pound USD as well. Best Asian session. I mean, I don't really trade the Asian session normally, because I'm asleep during that time. But the best pairs are normally like Pound AUD, AUD USD, NZD USD, Pound NZD, Pound JPY is not bad as well, because those are normally the pairs that I look at before I go to bed, and normally I'm expecting a move to happen in the London session the next morning, and normally when I wake up it's already happened during the Asian session. So you do see good movements for those pairs during those sessions. So AU is a good one, like I said. AU is a good one for the Asian session. I think pound AD is very good as well. Pound JPY is good. NZD is good. Pretty much all the AU and NZD pairs are not bad during the Asian session. Gold is pretty neutral. I'll probably say it does it more in New York, but I've seen some big moves in the Asian as well. And yeah, Euro JPY is not good as decent as well. So I would say mainly the AU pairs and JPY pairs, but pairs specifically, I would say pound AUD, AUD USD. Yeah, probably those two are probably the better ones. Maybe NZD USD as well is quite good as well. Yeah, sure, I'll take a look at Euro Pound. So yeah, Euro Pound still trying to climb to the upside. Price action is definitely running out a bit of steam here, so we might get moved to the downside, because I still do expect Euro Pound to be moving to these highs here, but with that price action, it's not building me a lot of confidence. It might take a breather, move to the downside first, before we do see that move to the upside, but I still do expect to see a move back to those highs there. So Euro Pound, I'm looking for buys personally. Not here though. I probably want to see price push the downside first for my higher low, or respect this previous support there. Nice double bottom could be on the cards, and then yeah, move to the upside, and that will get me interested. There could be some nice temporary shorts, however, from this area, because it is very choppy. I wouldn't personally trade it. I'm not looking for that move, but there could be something coming up. But yeah, Euro Pound is just giving us these long wicks to the downside here, so it's a little bit choppy, this pair. We do have a nice trend line, however, that price is still respecting here. Just kind of using the bodies rather than the wicks here, because I feel like the wicks are a little bit false here with those, especially with those long wicks there. Definitely, taking people out of their trades. So using the bodies more for this trend line. But as you can see, price is still respecting that really nicely. So maybe if you can get a strong break, the retest, some sales will be looking good back into these lows here. That's very poorly drawn. Back into these lows here will make the most sense for me. And if that does happen, I'll be looking to buy this back up again, back into those highs at least, and then maybe even further all up there. So yeah, Euro Pound, I expect more upside for this pair, but price is really struggling moving up, especially giving us these long wicks to the downside. So it might take a breather to the downside first, come back, retest that support, and yeah, that trader will be looking good on the underside of that trend line, I think, because we've respected that trend line multiple times. So probably want to short on the break, not on the break when price comes back for the retest, but waiting for that break to happen, and then yeah, taking it back down into that support, and then I would be looking for longs to take it back up again. But yeah, that's what I would expect for Euro Pound. If not, if it does stay respecting that trend line, then there's a good chance that price will probably just give us some few wicks and just continue to the upside very slowly. But yeah, that's what I'll be expecting for Euro Pound. Yeah, so there's a few pairs that I'm looking at on my watch list. Nothing is looking too clean as of yet. Hopefully something can happen later during the day. Let me check if we've got any news announcements coming out, because that could affect some of these pairs. And maybe actually give us some good selling opportunities for a lot of those pairs. So yeah, let me just check if we've got anything coming out today. Okay, so yeah, we do actually. We've got some US dollar news and CAD news today, both high impact news events. We've got balance of trade for CAD at 1:30, so in about 2.5 hours from now. And we've got US dollar news as well, balance of trade, jobless claims, as well, US dollar news at 1:30 as well. So both of those events happening at the same time. And yeah, both high impact events. So yeah, more US dollar news this week. Again, probably will have some type of impact, and I think, is tomorrow the first Friday of the month? Yes, it would be. Yeah, so Friday as well is kicking off as well. There's a lot of news events here. There's a lot of news events during the morning tomorrow. A lot of Euro events, Euro news events. 8:15, 8:55, 8:55. It's a weird time to have news events. 9 a.m, 9:30, all high impact news events for pound, euro. And later on that day, we've got some more euro news, and we've got the infamous NFP at 1:30 as well, which again will probably have will definitely have some type of impact, whether it's just fluctuating or price actually picks a direction. Because a lot of the time with NFP we just see price just spike in both directions and kind of just not really pick a direction until, like, a couple of hours after it's actually happened, or sometimes it just goes off in one direction. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, I would like to be in a trade definitely probably before NFP. Hopefully, by Friday morning could find one. If there is one, of course I want to force it, but yeah, we do have some US dollar news coming out later today, and NFP of course on Friday. And yeah, anything can happen really with that. NFP might just bring all of these pairs back down, like, because Euro's seen some crazy moves to the upside, and maybe NFP just brings that down, or NFP just continues it even more. So it can work both ways, but it's definitely just to stick with your price action, stick with your buys, because that you can be consistent with. Trying to guess where NFP or these news events are going, you can't really be consistent with that unless you've got actual knowledge behind these events, and you can research into them. Then yes, you can be consistent with that. Not necessarily consistently right, but consistently guessing directions with knowledge to back it up, or information to back it up. For me, I don't really look too much into it. I tend to just stick with the price action, and if I'm in a trade during news, I'm in a trade during news, and if I'm not, I'll just wait till everything's happened and the dust has settled. So like I said, I'm looking for those Euro USD sells. If I don't get anything, then I'll probably just let things be, let NFP do its thing, check up again after NFP. And then set my bias for next week, because NFP could bring us down very, very aggressively. I'll now look to sell on the pullback, or it could take us break through both of these two levels, and if that happens, I'll probably be flipping my bias to bullish on Euro USD and expecting to see price slowly give us a move back into these highs up there. Of course, I'm not looking to trade that in one go, but as for bias and long-term direction, Euro USD might just be to the upside. But we will see. But for now, there's nothing there for me to get involved. Still far too bullish. Same thing for the pound. Pound AUD, we've seen some nice downside for these pairs. Again, I did say I was looking for that head and shoulders here for pound AUD, but I'm not too sure if price will pull back that much. We have broken through this area here, so maybe on the break and retest of that area, that could be a nice opportunity there to short pound AUD back down again. Because I did say to you guys, we've had a crazy bullish trend here for pound AUD for quite some time, and I think it's time for price to have a bit of a breather. So looking for those short opportunities for pound AUD this week. to take it further to the downside, but I'm not too sure we'll get that much of a pullback before this week closes, because this is the 4H time frame. Again, we've only got so many hours left of this week before it does close. But yeah, that's what I would be looking for. USD JPY, USD CHF, not looking for much. Again, NZD USD still waiting for an opportunity there, but still looking too bullish. Pretty much NZD, we've seen a lot of strength. NZD CAD was looking for buys this week as well. You can see that one's flying to the upside. Didn't retrace enough for me to get involved, but very, very big push to the upside, taking out the liquidity above those wicks there. So we're looking very, very bullish here for NZD, and we're pretty much bullish across the board. Pound NZD is moving to the downside because of that NZD strength. Euro NZD, I would imagine, is moving to the downside because of that NZD strength as well. So we're definitely seeing some strength in the Aussie dollar and the New Zealand dollar the past couple of weeks or so. Yeah, so we are looking bearish for Euro NZD, Pound NZD, and bullish for NZD CAD, NZD CHF, and NZD USD. Same thing for AU as well, pretty much. AU's pushing up, AJPY is pushing up, AUD CHF's pushing up, AUD CAD's pushing up, and then we've got Euro AUD and Pound AUD falling. So they're all correlated, of course, because they've got the same currency, but it's good to involve correlation in your trading. I do that quite a lot, to be fair. Because if you want to short AUD USD, and then you're looking at buying AUD/JPY, then something's a little bit wrong there, because they both tend to move in the same direction. So it's either probably one will work and one will fail, probably, depending on your stop loss, but that's the logic behind that. But yeah, for me, there's no real pair that has really taken my fancy. Normally there's one pair that I'm just waiting for something to happen or get confirmation, but so many pairs are a little bit off, especially with the pairs I'm looking to short, which I have been looking to short pretty much the whole week. Just haven't really given me much to work with, and I've stayed out with them, and it's definitely paid off, to be fair, being more conservative with these pairs, because I could have been looking to get into short, aggressive shorts, but yeah, you can see price is still quite bullish there, so definitely saving myself some skin by being on the conservative side of things, waiting for that extra confirmation. With these pairs, you can see Pound USD, I was looking to short Pound USD yesterday on this area here and also this area here, but again I was waiting for those confirmations, none of them happened. We were looking bullish here. I didn't like the candlesticks. We broke through that, and again this was news as well, and then we broke through that level as well. We did come back again here, but I wasn't at my computer at that time anyway, and then moved a little bit sideways and broke to the upside again this morning. So nothing really there for me to get involved for Pound USD, and at this rate it looks like we're probably going to take out this high here as well. So that's what I said to you guys. If you guys are looking to catch a few pips, I think looking at buys for like Pound USD, AUD USD, as the USD on the lower time frames, like the 5 minute, will be looking quite good. And I know a lot of you guys do like trading intraday, so yeah, those buys could be looking good. Snatch a few pips to the upside, because the momentum is definitely with the bulls, and you can just ride that momentum on the lower time frames. Yeah, sure. I'll check GJ for you. What time frame do you look to trade Pound JPY on though? Is it the higher time frames or the lower time frames? I don't know which time frames to focus on, because sometimes I look at the higher time frames and some people only trade the 5 minute, and it's not very useful to them. So yeah, please mention what time frame you want me to look at GJ for. But yeah, GJ, I mean, I'm looking for sales for this one, but it's still looking bullish here for GJ. We're still pushing to the upside, and we're still holding below this level here on the daily. You know, prior support here, prior support to resistance, but whether we'll have reaction is another completely different thing, because you know we're still below that level, but at the same time, you know, this price action does look still very, very bullish here, and you can see we're respecting that trend line really well as well. So for me, I'm looking to short it, and the idea that I have, or the setup that I have to short pound JPY, I'm not sure will happen, because well, it could happen actually. Maybe some news events could make that happen. But yeah, I'm looking for price to break through this trend line, come down, retest, and then dump to the downside for GJ. And if not, then probably more upside there for pound JPY, because it's still looking quite bullish on the lower time frames. Okay, higher time frames. So yeah, higher time frames, you know, we've had a massive dump to the downside. I'm still bearish on the higher time frames. Again, not fundamental reasons or anything like that, just pure price action here. We've seen a dump, pullback, dump, pullback, dump, pullback, pullback there. We did make new lows there, so potentially could be coming back into these areas up here. So yeah, if you're looking at the higher time frames, then I'll probably be focusing on that 153 area up there, because it does look like we're still trying to push to the upside to those levels. I know that's quite distant, so you know, potentially could be looking at some short-term buys back up there again, because we are still looking quite bullish. But you know, because this didn't make a lower low, you know, it's giving me the idea that price wants to push back here. If this did make a lower low, then it could pull back to any point, but just because it didn't have that energy to go and take those lows out, I think we'll probably come back up to 153 actually. For pound JPY. That's if we keep up this price action, of course. If it does change bearish, like I said, if we can break through the trend line, then some sales will be looking good, just breaking through that and then selling it back down again. But yeah, for me, it's looking quite bullish. And if you're looking at the higher time frames like the daily, I think pound JPY 153 will be looking good for some shorts. And targets probably back down at this support here again, or kind of like a midway point, this level here, 151 as well. So a push back into there will be looking good. Then if you can break through there, then a push back into those lows there. So that's what I'll probably be favoring for pound JPY on the higher time frames, because we are still looking quite bullish, like the 4H and the hourly. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting there for pound JPY. I hope that analysis helped. Yeah, I wouldn't know, to be fair, because I haven't really taken the time to really look into news events that much, really. I haven't really back tested any data for news. So yeah, I would know about that correlation. I mean, it's probably something that I'll probably look into, but there's nothing that I'm focused on too much. I'm mostly trying to be consistent with my price action. Because I mean, normally when I do trade and I'm in a trade and a news event happens, I'll probably say about 60 to 70% of the time it normally does work in my direction. So if it's, you know, working more for me than against me, then I don't really see too much for me to look too much into the news when it kind of works for me anyway. But yeah, I mean, out of interest, I probably will look into the fundamentals a lot more. But you know, at this time, I don't really look into it too much. So yeah, I wouldn't really know. Yeah, same. I mean, if pound JPY was to go and break through 153 here, yeah, I'll probably be thinking about changing my bias to bullish, to be fair, if it does break through this level. Because you can see it's held resistance really nicely over here as well, there. So that's definitely a very important level for pound JPY, and if you do take out 153, it might mean that pound JPY is going to continue with this massive bullish trend that we've had here, and yeah, revisit those highs up there. So yeah, that could be on the cards for pound JPY if we break through that. A nice opportunity would be on the retest of that, or wait for price to pull back and then buy it back up again. Okay, what time frame are you looking at? Well, no, are you trading? Learn to trade. Is that the lower time frames? Because yeah, pound JPY, like I said, you know, as long as it stays above the trend line here, for me, I think pound JPY could still be heading to the upside here. We still got that those higher highs, higher lows, and yeah, it's looking like pound JPY is on its way to the upside. Because again, I did draw in this level here yesterday, I believe, and I said if we get above that, price might want to really continue to the upside. Because you can see we did get above it yesterday, we got back below it, so kind of manipulated both ways there. But now we're back above that level, and if it does stay above that level, you know, there's nothing stopping pound JPY, maybe apart from some areas of supply and resistance in there on the 152-500 mark. But besides that, I'll probably be favouring, you know, a lot more continuation to the upside for pound JPY. Still looking quite bullish here. So yeah, I do agree with that. It's looking bullish. Like I said, if we can get below the trend line, I'll look for those sells. But if it doesn't, then I think it's onwards and upwards for pound JPY. I mean, it depends. It depends with the pair, really. To be honest with you, Sonny. Some pairs have a lot more pips going about than others, like pound AUD compared to like Euro USD. So yeah, it depends. But typically, if you're looking at the 5 minute, you'll be looking at a very tight stop loss, like maybe like, you know, 5-10 pips, you know, kind of. But it all depends again with the price action as well, because I don't normally have like fixed stop loss where I have to use stop loss if I'm trading that certain time frame. My stop loss do vary just because on the size of the candles that I'm using and the levels I'm using. So, but I'll probably say like 5 to 10 pips, maybe 5 minutes. Hourly, you could be looking at, you know, 10 to 30, 40, 50. And then 4 hour, you could be looking at 30, 40, 50 to 100 even for 4H time frames. And again, some pairs do change as well. Okay, yeah, pound JPY. Well, let's look at this for example. If you were buying that there, you know, your stop loss here would be put about 44 pips there. So 4H time frames, pound JPY, you know, you could be looking at that 44 pip mark to bigger, depending what, you know, candles you're using. And then hourly, you're probably looking at, you know, 10 to 30 region. And then in the 5 minute, you're probably looking at, you know, 5, maybe even less if you can get a really tight entry, 5 to 10 pips. And then pound USD, I'll probably just reduce that slightly to maybe like maybe similar to 5 to 10 pips again in the 5 minute, and then hourly maybe looking at 10, 20 maybe, and then 4H could be looking at 30, 50, 60. So something like that for pound for those two pairs there. But pound JPY normally does have a lot of pips about it. Pound AUD, a lot of pips about it. Pound NZD as well, a lot of pips as well. Whereas some of the USD pairs are slightly less. But yeah, it's more important to see what, you know, candle sizes and the levels that you're using. But yeah, I'll probably say that's probably like a rough guideline of the stop losses that I use for those time frames. Sure, no problem, happy to help. Remember guys, if you're looking at any pairs, feel free to let me know. I'll take a look at them together. And if there's any pairs that I've missed out and I haven't looked at it, or you haven't seen analysis for it, feel free to leave in the chat as well. Or if there's something I've missed out because I don't see everything, I do miss out on some opportunities. So feel free to share if you think I've missed on anything, or if you know any trades as well, feel free to share as well. Let me know what pairs you guys are trading. But yeah, for me guys, I'll probably say Euro USD, Pound USD, the main pairs I'm looking at. CAD JPY as well is at a nice area, but it's just a little bit too choppy for me, so a bit hesitant getting involved in that pair. I was looking at USD CAD a lot more yesterday, but after that drop that we had this morning, I'm not too sure about this pair anymore. I think it could be seeing more downside. I mean, I wouldn't short USD CAD where it is right now because we're coming into that daily trend line. You can see here all those tests of that trend line there. I don't really want to short into that. Maybe on the break and the retest, that could be a nice opportunity, but I think USD CAD could be on its way down, which means a lot more weakness in the dollar, or a lot more strength in the CAD. Pound CAD, yeah, sure thing. We'll take a look at Pound CAD. Pound CAD a little bit choppy. I did trade this pair early in the week. Caught a nice move to the downside there, but it didn't hit my target. Price did reverse to the upside, but did catch a nice brief move to the downside there. Other than that, Pound CAD has been moving sideways pretty much since the start of the week. For this one, it's just a little bit choppy here. You can see even in the bigger picture, it's a bit choppy as well. Yeah, Pound CAD for me, definitely not the clearest pair going these days, but I think Pound CAD could be seeing more upside for this pair. I just think because we've held on to this support really nicely here. Nice push to the upside, come back 1, 2, 3, respected that, another push to the upside. So yeah, I'll probably expect to see Pound CAD continue to the upside here, back and probably into these levels up there, resistance there twice, third time, big false breakout, kind of broke the resistance that came right back down again. But yeah, probably the 1.74700 mark looks good. So yeah, that's what I'll probably be expecting to see Pound CAD go into. As for opportunities, it would be nice if price was to come back and retest this level here again, but I'm not too sure price would do that after the reaction we saw yesterday, quite an aggressive reaction to the upside. So I think for this one, if you can retrace maybe back into this area of demand there, that would be nice. Create a higher low, because I'm not too sure it'll come back into this area, so wait for the higher low to form. High low might form around here, double bottom, triple bottom, something like that. Head and shoulders, look for those type of patterns, and then yeah, buy to the upside, and you can look to target this resistance here. And if you break through that, that resistance does look good all the way up there as well. So I'll probably be expecting more upside for Pound CAD. It's a little bit of a choppy pair, so I'm not too much of a fan of looking trading this pair at the moment in time, even though I did trade it earlier in the week, but since then it's got a little bit more choppy for me. So if I was to pick a direction, it'll be to the upside, because we are holding that bullish structure. But yeah, it'd be nice to form that higher low, maybe at around this area here, and then yeah, buys back up into these highs here, and then if you can break through that, then 1.74700. So yeah, it does look good. I mean, EuroCAD as well, another pair that I'm expecting more upside from as well. EuroCAD, Pound CAD do have some similarities, probably not the best correlation of pairs, to be honest with you. The other pairs that do correlate a lot better, but Euro and Pound are similar pairs, and obviously they both have CAD in it, so they do have some type of correlation. And EuroCAD, yeah, I'm looking for a move all the way back up to the 1.50700 mark, back into these daily highs up there. So I'm looking at a lot more upside for EuroCAD, and there's a good chance Pound CAD as well is going to follow suit behind it. So I did miss that opportunity yesterday to buy this back up here again, but I think we could be seeing opportunities soon come here. We did have resistance here. That price could be now holding as support potentially. and if it does form that higher low over here, I probably will look to enter if the risk to reward does stay good. I mean, I think when I just measured it was like 140 pips or something, like 150 pips. So yeah, the mileage to the upside for EuroCAD, if we do hit that level, of course we might not, but if we do hit that level, it does look really good, and the risk to reward does look good. So definitely a pair that, even though I missed that first move, I do still look to get back into it for some buys here. So yeah, EuroCAD, I'm looking at push back into those highs up there, and yeah, Pound CAD is a pair that could follow suit behind it. Yeah, so I might give these pairs some time to breathe because we've got news coming out, and yeah, I doubt I'll be entering any of these pairs before that. So I'm probably just going to leave these pairs to do their things before the news, give the news some time to breathe, and then yeah, watch how they settle down, because after the news events, and if you haven't checked or seen, we do have some news events coming out at 1:30 for US dollar and for CAD, both high impact news events. So I do expect to see some type of movement. We saw some movement yesterday, probably expect to see something similar again today at 1:30. So if you're in those pairs that contain CAD, USD, and probably other pairs as well, to be fair, yeah, do watch out. Take partials if you need to. But yeah, we do have news events coming out, so I'll probably let price be beforehand, and then yeah, once the news has happened, watch price settle, so you can get some nice opportunities in, because the news might be a nice catalyst to give me some entries just before NFP tomorrow, because I do like to get in before that, preferably before the end of today, or hopefully London session at the latest tomorrow. If not, then yeah, I'll let price be during NFP, and just look for opportunities next week on Monday. But yeah, hopefully news events come 1:30 late New York session, could look for some entries then, and if not, early London tomorrow. But if not, I'll just let price be till next week. No problem, happy to help, bro. I use IC markets. IC markets. I do have a affiliate link to that in my description, so if you feel free to check them out, I do recommend them. Good brokers. I've used them for probably coming up to 2 years now, maybe, or maybe slightly more than 2 years, something around there. So I've been with them quite some time. I think if pound JPY was to come back into this trend line here again, with the confluence of this level here at 150, 151,500, even a nice, psychological level there as well. Midpoint between 152 and 151. I think I will be looking for buys actually, to be honest, with you guys. I might not do full position into the trade, because I have come into this week looking for sells, and I still do stick with that bias. Not just because I'm being ignorant and not accepting the fact that price could go up. It's just because I've got a plan and I want to stick to it. But with this price action here, I think buys will be looking good for pound JPY, because we've got this level of support here. If you scroll across, you can see all these wicks coming into it. A really nice move to the upside. And yeah, price is looking bullish on the higher time frames as well. So if you do come back into it here, and we do see some nice rejections, if I can get some wicks like that, I probably will be looking for buys and take that to the upside. And yeah, stops below that trend line, because I think we could be on for a move there. And the price action is looking bullish, but like I said, I am mainly looking for sales. So price might not even come back into that trend line, but if it does, we'll see what happens with the trend line here. Because if we do get a break as well, I will be looking for those sells on the retest of that trend line. Give me a nice level high on the retest, or at least the retest of that resistance. Now we'll look to short it back down into the lows of this trend line, into that 151 area there. So I will be looking at both buys and sells, and that's only if price can come down. It doesn't have to. It could just continue to the upside if it wants to. But if it does come down, I will be looking at both opportunities, not just the selling opportunities there. So again, guys, if I do get anything, I will let you guys know in my Telegram channel, and if you haven't checked that out, feel free to go do so. It's in the chat, and also my description down below as well. Thank you. Well, I'm looking forward to making the video, so if you can check that out, that is great. Happy days for both of us. But yeah, sure, I'll take a look at USD right now. Haven't really looked at this one at too much depth recently, but yeah, it is coming to a key level. I have to agree with you there. Really nice resistance there, USD on the daily time frame. Also, if I take that across here as well, you can see it was acting as support there, which did fund a really nice move to the upside there as well. So we're definitely at a key level. Is that 0.65 as well? So yeah, just at a nice psychological level there as well. So really key level there for USD and the higher time frames. Whether we hold this level and see a move to the downside, that's a completely different story. Because definitely, what I've learned is key levels are great, but key levels aren't much without price action as well. So we definitely need to wait for a price to start giving us some signs of rejection first before we do get into these shorts. But yeah, I have to agree that we are at a really nice level here. So yeah, most of these NZD pairs, USD, NZD JPY, NZD CHF, I do have a bearish bias for these pairs, because if you do look at the higher time frames, we are in a bearish trend, so it makes complete sense to be having that bearish bias. Push, pullback all across here. Recently had a mad dump to the downside, and now we're back at that same level again as well. We well could take this level out, and we well could hold at this level. So the only way we have to know whether price is going to hold or not is to look at price action, and right now we are looking very bearish here. Sales looking good from here, but we need to see some action first. We do have a little bit of a trend line there, not the best trend line again drawn for these pairs, but we do have some nice tests here, again using the bodies here really and connecting some of the wicks. But we had some nice tests, bit of a false break there, came back, retested it and pushed to the upside. So a similar opportunity to USD, I believe, or yeah, USD. If we can get back below this trend line here, retest the underbelly of it as resistance, maybe come back into this resistance here as well. So obviously this sent us to the downside, we broke above. So if we can get back below that area, back below the trend line, retest both of them as resistance, I think some nice sales to the downside will be looking good. And we'll definitely be getting those extra confirmations in, because we're not going to rush into trades just because we're at a key level. We're not just going to short it just because we're here and we're seeing that candle looking slightly bearish. get rid of that fear of missing out part of the trading, and just wait for really stacked price, really stacked trades, the highest probability trades for you, so you don't have to go through so much stress worrying about if your trade will work or not and trying to go against the trend. And wait for the trend to come to you and then get involved. But yeah, wait for a break of that trend line, because you have multiple tests of this trend line here going through. We only had one false break of it, which was over there. We closed below, closed straight back above, continued. So yeah, if you can get back below, retest, hold the resistance, sales will be looking good. But if that doesn't happen, NZCHF could well just go and break through. That key level. We might come back in, respect it, and push to the upside. So if that's the case, we don't want to sell that. We don't want to sell that if price is still looking bullish here. It could come back, respect the trend line, and really push on. If that's the case, you could, if anything, look for buys. We're at a key level resistance, but it doesn't really matter too much if the price action is bullish. It will continue. So sales do look good, but get below that trend line first, and then watch the retest, and then shorts will be looking good. But besides that, we could actually break through this key level, and if we do, we could be looking at a lot more upside. Of course, if it's not a false breakout, but if we do have a true breakout of this, we could be looking at a lot more upside for NZCHF, maybe back up to the levels all the way up there as well. So yeah, I do agree, nice opportunity there in NZCHF, but a lot more does need to happen before I get more confidence to get into some shorts there. Pound CHF, sure thing. Okay, so pound CHF, again a little bit of a choppy pair this one, but it's at a nice level. I'm pretty sure it's been at this level for quite some time now, because I do remember speaking about pound CHF, was it yesterday or the day before, but at the same level here. So again, I'm still sticking with that same bias. Last time I spoke about it, expecting that move to the downside. It's had a nice reaction since then from yesterday. I believe that price action there, and it's come straight back into it. So it looks like, for me, normally when you do see price doing this, when you have a nice level of resistance or supply or whatever, and price starts doing this, creating higher lows. It's a really poorly drawn diagram, something like that, and it keeps forming higher lows, pushing up. Normally it means price is going to break through to the upside. So yeah, from what I'm seeing now, even though I would be looking for sales and looking to buy into that, I probably would expect the pound CHF to break through this to the upside, to be honest with you, with that price action. Obviously that could change, and for that to change, you need to take out this trend line here. So if you can push through the lower high, then sales will be looking good. But if it does keep respecting that, then upside is what we'll be expecting there for pound CHF. Just off that price action alone there. So for me, it definitely does need to take out one of these lows here, preferably the most recent one, which is that one. So if you can come to the downside again for pound CHF, come to the downside again, take out that low there, we can look for a lower high, short it down, because this one, the double top could be on, but the double tops could be on for the past few days now. So I'll definitely wait for price to give me a little bit more there, take out one of those lows there. We do have this trend line coming on through here, really nice trend line actually, to be fair, because we've had 1, 2, 3 tests, false break there, broke back above, came back down, retest. So it's a really nice trend line there. If we can break through that trend line there, use that as resistance there, that will be a nice sign that we could be coming down. We've had one false breakout, and normally when you see the false breakout and then you have another breakout, normally that one is the true breakout. Of course, you've had multiple breakouts, but we've already had one taking out people, so now you would expect to see the true breakout happen. And obviously this, we weren't quite at a key level, and this time we are, so we do have confluence in our favor there. So yeah, a break of that trend line, retest as resistance, and I think some sales will be looking good there. But yeah, looking for those shorts, and if that doesn't happen, like I said earlier, if those higher lows keep forming, price will probably break to the upside. And yeah, don't want to short that if price is going to break to the upside. And if it does, we could be looking at some other key areas. We've got this level going through the market around here, that high there, which to give us a smooth to the downside. We could take out that, follow that level there, and then some shorts could be coming in, or maybe even up there as well. Who knows? What's going to happen? But yeah, from the price action, what we're seeing now is, I'll probably be a bit more conservative, wait for that trend line break, and then look to short that down again. But besides from that, pound CHF could actually well break through that resistance and just continue on. I mean, the double top could work, but I just don't want to be too aggressive with these pairs and what we've seen over the past few days now. Yeah, sure, we'll take a look at pound USD. Thank you, Chia. Appreciate that. And have a good weekend as well. And hopefully I will see you next week during the streams. And feel free to leave a like on the video, guys. If you are enjoying the content, it does mean a lot, guys. If you do drop a like, helps the channel out, helps me out as well. And also subscribe if you haven't already as well. And if you are enjoying the content, I do these streams Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. GMT. And also I do analysis, like recap and forecast for the following week on the weekend as well. So if you are enjoying the content, check it out and drop a subscribe. It's much appreciated. Besides that, pound USD, for this pair, again, looking for those sells. We're coming back into a really nice level of support resistance here. So you can see there, nice support again, nice psychological level, 1.38, looking to short at this level here, especially with that bearish price action on the daily. So looking to get into some shorts for pound USD, but whether we actually do get into shorts, is a completely different thing, because we need to get price action on our side first before we do that. And you can still see we're pumping to the upside here, push, pull back, push, pull back, push, still form those higher highs, higher lows. So for me to get involved in some shorts, I probably want to see this low get taken out here for pound USD, give us potentially a double top there. So we've got this top here coming back in, reject it, come to the downside, break through this neckline here on the retest, or if you push past on the lower high formation, look to take that down back into this support here, and then potentially back down into this support all the way down there, 1.37. So like I said, I'm looking at shorts. Wow, really nice key level of resistance, key level of key psychological level. But just because the market is still bullish, I wouldn't just jump into shorts because we're at a nice level. We definitely need more than that, especially with what we've seen in the market so far this week. So looking for shorts for pound USD. If we get above this, then we might be seeing a lot more upside here, maybe a push back up to 1.39. So on the break and retest, that could be a nice opportunity there for pound USD. But besides that, pound USD for me, looking for those sells. And if you can break this to the downside, retest, that'll be nice, take that down. Or if you can come back, lower high or even triple top, and look to sell that back down again. Any which way, we're getting that extra confirmation. We're not just shorting just because we anticipate a double top. We're shorting because we've already got that move, and now we're looking to capitalize on it and see that extra swing to the downside for pound USD, or what other pairs we're looking to trade. Oh, thank you. Subscribe to the channel, much appreciated. Joining the family, thank you for subscribing. All of that is much appreciated. Thank you. But pound USD, looking for those sales there. But like I said, definitely wait for that extra confirmation. Because definitely when I did start trading, when I pretty much saw a bearish candle, I would look to sell, and if I saw a bullish candle, I'd look to buy, just because I had that that excitement of getting to a trade. But now we definitely mean business now, so waiting for those extra confirmations and those confluences in trading when everything is tipped into your favor. So yeah, I'll probably wait for the opportunity there for pound USD and get into those sales, and if it breaks to the upside, buys will be looking good. Yeah, no problem. Happy to help. But yeah, we do have around 10 minutes or so, guys, before my stream does end. So if any of you guys watching the stream, have any pairs that you want me to take a look at, just quickly drop it down in the chat, and I'll take a look at it for you guys before the stream ends. Or if you know any trades as well, feel free to share. But yeah, we do have 10 minutes left. So if there's any pairs you want me to take a look at, it doesn't matter if I've looked at it already and you're not too sure. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the chat. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. I haven't seen Bitcoin today. Let's see what's happening with this one. So, mad move to the upside actually for Bitcoin. A big move. The last time I looked at Bitcoin, we were trading at these lows here. I did say, to be fair, if we do not break through this, it's likely we'll have a double bottom and a push back into here. And as you can see, we're breaking through that level, and now we're seeing more upside. So Bitcoin still does have this bullish trend here in the market. You can see push, pull back, push, pull back, push. Looks like a pullback into the double bottom, and looks like we'll probably take up this high here on the left. So Bitcoin looking very, very bullish here. This is the key level that I said. If Bitcoin can break through, which looks like it's trying to do now, it's poking its head above on the daily, probably see a move back up to 53k, I reckon, for Bitcoin. So buys are looking good for this pair. I do have to admit it's breaking through that. It's getting above this level here. So if we can come back, retest this, hold this as support, because last time when we got above here for Bitcoin, we failed to hold that as support. We got above, stalled there for a little bit, a bit of consolidation, broke to the downside, and respected these areas of resistance. But now we're back above. If we can form some support, don't just test it once, at least twice. You want the price at least to test it at least twice to confirm it. And then buys back up to 53k are looking good there for Bitcoin actually. But of course, we might just dip back below and respect that resistance and do something like that. If that's the case, just let Bitcoin be. But Bieber, not Justin Bieber, just let it be. But if you can hold that, great buys. If not, we might be coming back down to this area there for Bitcoin there. But we are looking really bullish here. I think we could be seeing a lot more upside for this pair, especially that double bottom formation happening there. So I mean, this is a little bit quite aggressive here, so price might want to retrace. 50% might be all the way down there, so do watch out for those wicks. It can happen, especially on a pair like Bitcoin. But besides from that, it's looking more upside here, back to 53k if we can hold that as support. It might be nice to wait for a daily candle closure above this, because we still got 13 hours left before that candle closes there on the daily. And within that 13 hours, we've got a lot of trading, and we could pull back down back below this area, and we do have some news coming out as well. So probably wait for the daily candle close above that, and then on tomorrow wait for that retest, and then the buys back up to 53k, because this is a really nice range that we have here, where price was respecting it really nicely here, broke through, no retest, nothing, stalled a little bit here, and then pushed the downside. So I think price will probably just fill that range in quite nicely. Might see a reaction here, might go higher, but 53k, if we get daily closure above that and we have that retest, will be the targets for Bitcoin. But we are looking very bullish there. Gold, gold is still just messing around here, still moving sideways. So like I said for gold, I'm not really too invested in where it is right now. I've got these two key levels here of support and resistance, which is where I'm looking at to get involved when I'm looking to trade gold. And like I said, if gold's just going to stay in between those two areas, I'm just going to leave it alone completely. If gold does push up into these highs here, I will be looking for sales to take it back down again, and vice versa. It comes into here, we've got that trend line confluence as well, comes back into there, I will be looking for buying opportunities. to take gold back to the upside. So just literally playing the range of gold, what it's done previously, and just doing it again. But I know a lot of people have asked me on stream yesterday and the stream day before, where do I see gold going here? And it's not really at a place where I want to call where gold is going, just because it's the middle of nowhere, and anything can happen, especially when it's moving sideways in the middle of nowhere as well. So if I was to pick a direction, I'd probably say upside, because we've got this momentum here, had a nice breakout to the downside. So if anything, I'd say upside. And it looks like we're getting some DXY weakness as well. So upside, as DXY goes down, gold should be going up. So if I was to expect a direction, I'll probably expect upside. But whether that's going to happen, I have no idea, especially with this price action here. We could just do another fake out to the upside like yesterday. So we did have that nice push. We came right back down again. So we could do that again. But yeah, if I was to say it would be to the upside, I'll be getting ready for sales up there, take it back down again. And if it does break to the downside, I'll be getting ready for buys again from that support. So not looking at getting in with gold where it is now, but either one of those areas could be good. And if you do get a nice confirmation, a nice trade, I will let you guys know on my Telegram channel. So be sure to go check that out. It's in the chat at the top if you scroll up, or my description of the video as well. So yeah, the main pairs I'll be looking at, like I said, probably pound JPY. If it can come back down into that trend line one last time, come back down, respect it, we'll look for buys to take it back up again. And then 153 could be a good move, or if you do break below, retest, we'll take it down. So pound JPY is definitely a pair I'll be looking at. We do have some news coming out at 1:30, which is about an hour and a half from now. So I'll probably wait for that news event to happen, and then look to see if there's any opportunities late into the New York session. So yeah, that's probably the plan of action for me. Pound USD, also another pair I'm looking at for some shorts, but still looking too bullish as well. A lot needs to happen before I do get into these trades. But yeah, nothing really there. Used CAD, I was looking at buys for this one, but I'm still not overly confident with this one, so I'll probably just let this one be, because we are still holding on to that daily trend line there, so it does look good for some buys there. But like I said, it just doesn't look too good. Looks like price might want to break to the downside, especially with that momentum there closing at the 4H candle closure there. So yeah, not looking at getting into USD CAD. If I was, I would be looking for buys, but it just doesn't look too good, so I'm staying away from that pair. And gold as well, we can get a nice move on into one of those two areas. I don't think gold will happen. Actually, it probably would happen this week, because we've got NFP on Friday, so NFP will probably probably be the catalyst that gold needs to come out of this consolidation. NFP will probably break us out, but then I'll probably wait till Monday to get into any trades, because it might actually break through one of these levels, whichever way price heads to. But yeah, we'll see if we can get an opportunity before NFP, hopefully during the London session. If not, I'll just wait till next week. Don't want to try and second guess NFP. Definitely not a news event to mess around with. AU looks good for shorts as well at a nice key level, but still too bullish there, so I'm not really too invested in the pair right now. Same thing with USD, still looking too bullish there as well. Want to get back below that trend line, but I'm not too sure if it will. We'll see what happens with the news that comes out 1:30. Maybe that can give it a little kick to do so, but at this moment in time, there's nothing there. And yeah, if there isn't, there's nothing stopping price to really continue to the upside. But yeah, guys, it is coming up to 12, so I'll do a quick recap of some of the pairs that we looked at, some of the pairs that I'm focusing on, and then yeah, I'll look to end the stream. So yeah, USD, definitely a pair that we're looking at for some sells. Still too bullish though. It's at key level of resistance. You can see here, really nice respecting of that resistance. And we're looking for another one of those opportunities, but this time we might actually break through. So do keep in the back of the mind that we can break through these areas. We don't have to respect them, but if we do, we will be looking to get into those shorts. Euro pound, looking to see if we can catch one more. Oh, that's very, very confusing there. For that drawing there. So yeah, wanting to see some buys here for Euro pound, but first looking for a move to the downside first, and then we'll take buys back up again, because Euro pound, I do have that bullish bias. You can see here on the daily, we've broken through this trend line here. We had a false breakout this time, but I think now we're getting the actual breakout of the trend line. So I do think we can see a lot more upside for this pair. So waiting for that pullback, and then we'll look to ride this pair to the upside back into the highs up there. So yeah, if we can see some downside for Euro pound double bottom, I'll definitely be looking to get involved in some longs. EuroCAD likewise as well, I can see a move back up to those highs there, waiting for that opportunity to arise on that break and retest. Had a nice retest there, so if price can come back, confirm it with that double bottom, or at least make a higher low, I will look to get involved in some buys there for EuroCAD and take that back up to 1.5. And the risk reward, like I said before, if I measure that again, it was like 140, 150 pips. There's a lot of pips to catch to the upside for EuroCAD if that was to come into fruition. So looking at EuroCAD as opportunity. USD CAD I'm looking at as well, but that one I'm not too much invested in because I don't like the price action in the higher time frames. But EuroCAD I'm looking at trading there. Gold, if we can get one of those opportunities, I'm looking at trading, but probably not, because NFP will probably just knock this out of place. So I'll probably look to trade it next week. And like I said, Euro USD and Pound USD, I'm looking at sells for both these pairs, but the price action is just still not there yet. Still looking too bullish. That could change with the news, and if I get something, I'll let you guys know. But as I'm speaking right now, and with the live analysis right now, it's just not looking good for those pairs. So yeah, I'm not looking to get involved until we look bearish from there on, because we could still pump to the upside, and I want to protect my capital at all costs, really. So yeah, nothing really too much I'm really focused on. I'd probably say EuroCAD is probably the closest to a trade that I can find right now that fits my criteria anyway. And yeah, if I get anything on EuroCAD, I'll let you guys know in the Telegram. But as of right now, a lot of the pairs that I normally trade, like Euro USD, Pound JPY, Euro JPY, is nothing really much forming there. So if I do get anything, guys, I will let you guys know. But this is the end of the live stream, guys. Thank you so much for joining the stream. It does really mean a lot. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, so you don't miss out on the upload, all that good stuff. But thanks a lot, guys, for joining the stream. I really do appreciate you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap it up there. And I do a video on the weekend, so don't miss that out. And then I'll be live again next week, Tuesday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. 12 p.m. GMT. So hopefully I'll see you guys there next week. But until then, have a good week, have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys soon.